The silent thief, procrastination. There is a silent thief that visits almost every human being. It doesn't knock on the door, it doesn't force its way inside. In fact, most people willingly invite it into their lives. This thief is called procrastination. At first, it looks harmless. You wake up in the morning with big plans. Today, you will start learning English. Today, you will work on your dreams. Today, you will begin that project you have been thinking about for months. You feel motivated, you feel ready. But then a small voice appears inside your mind. Maybe later, you still have time. Start tomorrow. Today, you can relax. It sounds gentle, it sounds reasonable, and that's exactly why it is so dangerous. Because procrastination never shouts, it whispers. And little by little, those whispers become habits. One day becomes tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. Days turn into months. And months quietly turn into years. One day you suddenly realize something painful. It was never a lack of talent. It was never a lack of opportunity. It was simply the habit of waiting for the perfect moment. But the truth about life is simple. The perfect moment rarely comes. Most successful people did not begin when everything was perfect. They began when things were messy, confusing, and uncertain. They began anyway. Procrastination creates a strange illusion. In the moment, it feels comfortable. When you postpone a task, you feel a temporary relief. No pressure today. I will handle it tomorrow. But the problem is this: every time you delay something important, the task becomes heavier in your mind. What could have taken 20 minutes today starts feeling like a mountain tomorrow. That is how procrastination slowly steals confidence. But the good news is this: defeating procrastination does not require huge motivation, it only requires one small action. Just 5 minutes of practice, just one paragraph of reading, just one step forward. Small actions may look insignificant, but when repeated every day, they become powerful. Think about a drop of water. One drop seems meaningless, but if drops fall continuously, they can carve a deep hole even in solid rock. Consistency has that kind of power. So, the next time procrastination whispers in your ear, don't argue with it. Don't wait to feel motivated. Simply begin. Because once you start, something magical happens. Momentum appears, and momentum is the enemy of procrastination. Remember this truth: your future is not built by your intentions, it is built by your daily actions. How to stop procrastination? Step 1: start with the 5-minute rule. Almost everyone has experienced this moment. You know there is something important to do. Maybe it is learning English, maybe finishing a project, maybe starting a dream you have postponed for months. But instead of starting, your mind says something familiar: I will do it later. You open your phone, you scroll through videos, you check messages, and suddenly an hour disappears. The strange thing about procrastination is not that we cannot do the work. Most of the time, the work itself is not very difficult. The real problem is starting. Starting feels heavy. Starting feels uncomfortable. Your brain looks at the task and thinks this is too much, so it delays it. But there is a powerful trick that many productive people use. It is called the 5-minute rule. Instead of promising yourself to finish everything, You simply promise this: I will do it for 5 minutes. That's all. 5 minutes of reading, 5 minutes of writing, 5 minutes of learning. Suddenly, the task does not look frightening anymore. Your brain relaxes because 5 minutes feels easy. And something interesting happens once you begin. After 5 minutes, your mind slowly enters a state of focus. You become curious. You begin to understand things. The resistance disappears. Many times, those 5 minutes turn into 30 minutes, sometimes even an hour. But even if you stop after 5 minutes, something powerful has already happened. You broke the wall of procrastination. You proved to yourself that starting is possible. Small starts create momentum. Think about a car standing still. The hardest moment is not driving fast. The hardest moment is moving the car from zero. Once it begins moving, everything becomes easier. Your work is exactly the same. So, the next time your mind tells you, start tomorrow, smile quietly and say, just 5 minutes. Because 5 minutes today is always more powerful than perfect plans tomorrow. Step 2. Break big tasks into small pieces. Imagine standing in front of a huge mountain. The top is hidden in the clouds. The path looks endless. If someone told you to climb it in one day, you would probably feel overwhelmed. This is exactly how the brain reacts to big tasks. When we see something large, our mind becomes afraid. Learn English, write a book, start a business. These goals are beautiful, but they also feels enormous. And when something feels too big, the brain protects itself by delaying it. That is why many dreams stay only in our imagination. Not because people lack ability, but because the task feels too large to begin. The solution is surprisingly simple. Break the mountain into small steps. Instead of saying, I will learn English, say, today I will learn 5 new words. Instead of saying, I will create a YouTube channel, say, today I will write the introduction. Small goals remove fear. They give your brain a clear direction. When tasks become smaller, something powerful happens. Progress becomes visible. Each small step gives you confidence. Each small victory creates motivation. Soon the mountain no longer looks impossible because you are no longer climbing the whole mountain. You are simply taking one step at a time. History is full of people who achieved incredible things, but none of them completed their work in one giant leap. They moved forward slowly. One small task today, another small task tomorrow. Consistency turned small actions into great success. Think of building a house. You don't build the entire house in one day. You place one brick, then another brick, and slowly a strong structure rises. Your goals are built the same way. So, whenever a task feels overwhelming, don't run away from it. Simply divide it, because even the biggest dreams become achievable when they are broken into small daily actions. Step 3. Remove distractions. In today's world, focus has become rare, not because people are incapable of focusing, but because distractions are everywhere. A phone vibrates, a notification appears, a message arrives. You check it for just a moment, but that moment quietly steals your attention. Soon, you find yourself watching videos, scrolling endlessly, jumping from one thing to another. An hour disappears, sometimes 2 hours, and the work you plan to do remains untouched. Procrastination often hides behind distractions. It gives us the illusion that we are busy, but deep inside, we know the truth. We are avoiding the task. The mind loves easy pleasure. Watching a short video feels easier than solving a problem. Checking messages feels easier than studying. That is why distractions must be managed carefully. Imagine trying to read a book in a noisy marketplace. People shouting, vehicles passing, music playing everywhere. Would it be easy to concentrate? Of course not. Your environment shapes your focus. If your environment is full of distractions, your brain struggles to stay on one task. But when you remove those distractions, something powerful happens. Your mind becomes calm, your attention becomes stronger. Sometimes the solution is very simple. Put your phone away, turn off unnecessary notifications, sit in a quiet place. Create a small space where your mind can work peacefully. You don't need perfect conditions, but even small changes can make a big difference. Focus is like sunlight. When scattered, it feels warm, but when concentrated, it can ignite fire. When your energy becomes focused, your productivity multiplies and procrastination slowly loses its power. Step 4. Don't wait for motivation. Many people believe a common myth. They think successful people work because they always feel motivated. They imagine that motivation comes first and action follows. But reality is very different. Most successful people do not wake up every morning feeling excited. Sometimes they feel tired. Sometimes they feel uninspired. Sometimes they feel exactly the same resistance that everyone else feels. The difference is simple. They do not wait for motivation. They start working anyway because they understand an important truth. Motivation is not the beginning of action, motivation is the result of action. When you begin doing something, your brain slowly becomes engaged. Curiosity appears, energy increases, the task starts feeling interesting. Think about exercising. Before starting, you might feel lazy. Your body feels heavy, but after 10 minutes of movement, something changes. Your body becomes energized. Your mind becomes activate. Suddenly you feel good. Motivation appeared after you started. Work behaves the same way. If you wait until you feel motivated, you may wait for a very long time. But if you start working, motivation quietly arrives. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates motivation, and motivation keeps you moving forward. So, the next time your mind says, I don't feel like doing this today, remember something powerful. You don't need motivation to begin, you only need the courage to start. Step 5. Forgive yourself and restart. No human being is perfect. Every person procrastinates sometimes. Even the most disciplined individuals have days when they feel distracted. But the real danger is not procrastination itself. The real danger is giving up after procrastinating. Many people experience one unproductive day and immediately criticize themselves. I failed. I am not disciplined. I will never change. These thoughts create guilt, and guilt often leads to more procrastination because when we feel bad about ourselves, we lose the motivation to try again. But growth does not require perfection, growth requires persistence. Imagine a child learning to walk. The child falls many times, but no one says you failed. Stop trying. Instead, the child stands up again. Step by step, balance improves. Soon, the child begins walking confidently. Your journey towards discipline is the same. Some days will be productive, some days will not. What matters is your ability to restart. Instead of punishing yourself, say something kinder. Today was not perfect, but I can begin again right now. Each restart strengthens your discipline. Each restart proves your commitment. Remember this simple truth: success does not belong to people who never fail. Success belongs to people who stand up again every time they fall. The boy who kept saying tomorrow. There once was a boy who had many dreams. He wanted to learn new things, he wanted to build a successful life, he wanted to make his parents proud. But the boy had one dangerous habit. He always said one simple word: tomorrow. When it was time to study, he said, I will start tomorrow. When it was time to work on his goals, he said, there is still time, I will do it tomorrow. When opportunities appeared, he told himself, I am not ready yet, I will begin tomorrow. At first, it didn't seem like a big problem. One day of delay looked harmless. One missed opportunity felt small. But days slowly turned into months. Months quietly turned into years. The boy began noticing something painful. His friends were moving ahead. Some were learning new skills, some were building careers. But he was still standing in the same place, and deep inside he felt something heavy: guilt. Every night he promised himself, tomorrow I will change. But when tomorrow arrived, the same habit returned again. Maybe later. Life slowly began taking things away from him. He missed chances, he lost confidence, and little by little, he lost the life he once imagined. One day, he looked around and realized something frightening. He had almost nothing left. His dreams were fading, his confidence was broken, and his future looked uncertain. For the first time in his life, he understood the real cost of procrastination. It doesn't destroy life in one moment, it steals life little by little. That night, the boy sat quietly with his thoughts. For years, he had blamed time, he had blamed circumstances, but now he saw the truth clearly. The biggest enemy in his life was not failure, it was procrastination. And for the first time, he made a different decision. He stopped promising big changes. Instead, he chose something simple: consistency. The next morning, he began with one small action: just a few minutes of learning, just a little bit of effort. It didn't feel impressive, it didn't look like success, but he did it again the next day, and again the day after that. Some days were difficult, some days he felt tired, but this time he refused to say tomorrow. He simply showed up day after day, step after step. Slowly, something amazing started happening. His confidence returned, his skills improved, new opportunities appeared. The same life that once slipped away from him started coming back. But this time, something was different because he was no longer chasing success with sudden bursts of motivation. He was building it with consistency. Years passed. The boy who once lost everything slowly rebuilt his life, and surprisingly, he gained even more than what he had before: more skills, more wisdom, more strength. Because failure had taught him a powerful lesson. Dreams are not built by talent alone, they are built by showing up every day, even when it is difficult. Procrastination rarely destroys life in one dramatic moment. It works quietly. One delayed task, one missed opportunity, one promise of tomorrow. And slowly, dreams begin to fade. But the good news is this: procrastination is not a life sentence. No matter how many days you wasted, no matter how many chances you missed, you can always start again. Because success does not belong to people who never procrastinate. It belongs to people who decide to stop delaying and start acting. Remember this simple truth: your future will not change because of what you plan. Your future will change because of what you do today. So start small, start imperfect, but start now. Because the life you want is built by daily consistency, not occasional motivation. Before you leave, think about this. 5 years from now, will you be proud of the actions you started today? Or will you still be waiting for the right time? Think about it. And if you enjoy learning and growing with this channel, don't forget to subscribe.